Guys, it's Debbie Potts doing a hopefully short video on a 30-day fat loss challenge that I wanted to share. Our friends at Body Health are putting on. I'm a big fan of Perfect Aminos. I love their products and I love the education over here on bodyhealth.com. So I wanted to share with you a free challenge that you can do to improve your body composition. Everyone wants to, well, not everyone. Most people want to lose weight, but we don't want to think about weight loss or fat loss. We want to think about increasing our lean body mass. So if your goal is to increase your metabolism, as I test with the Pinoy metabolism testing equipment on people in person in North San Diego, we're going to look at, is your metabolism slower or faster than it should be? So if we hop over here and look at this sample report of metabolism, we can look at RMR, fat burn efficiency, metabolic fitness, as well as some other markers, breath analysis, and heart rate variability score. So we can look at biological age when we do a VO2 max. This is RMR reports. We're not going to get that. And then we have different ways to improve metabolism, mitochondrial health. But looking at your RMR, first of all. So before you're looking at a weight loss challenge, I would suggest finding someone to test your metabolism. If your metabolism is slower or faster than it should be, we want to know how to improve it. We want to be not neutral, not normal. We want to be optimal. Good, excellent. So side note, when your labs are done with your doctor and the lab ranges say normal and your doctor says, hey, all your results from your lab work we just did is normal, tell them you don't want to be normal. You want to be optimal. Remember, those ranges are based on average. The average person is not fit and healthy from the inside out that we strive to be here. So look at your metabolism. Is it slower or faster? If it's slower than it should be, well, how do you improve it? Resistance training is probably where we want to look at to increase your metabolic rate. But if you've been following the research on how to increase muscle protein synthesis, MPS, it's best with the combination of prioritizing what you eat, your protein intake throughout the day. If you listen to Dr. Lehman, Lane Norton, Gabrielle Lyon, hitting your strength training goals and your protein goals. We can also look at, are you getting the nutrients you need to help make more thyroid? So looking at your free T3 score for your thyroid health, as well as free T4, inactive thyroid, we want to make sure we're making thyroid. The thyroid stimulating hormone is usually measured at your doctor, but we really want to look at inactive T4 and active T3. Sometimes we may need some iodine. So listen to my popular video on YouTube channel with Dr. Elizabeth Bright on the role of iodine. And if you are a good candidate to add in iodine or sea vegetables. Now, do you need more selenium? Brazil nuts are often beneficial source for selenium. And then are you getting your protein in to get your amino acids? But challenge is most people don't digest their protein correctly. One, they're not eating correctly in a parasympathetic state. Two, they're not chewing their food. And three, most people need digestive enzymes. And four, well, H. pylori is often overgrown in people and they also lack enough stomach acid. So if your stomach, the organ in the stomach, isn't acidic enough, we're not breaking down the protein and having the rest of the order of operations occur as we digest our food and get the protein broken down into usable amino acids. So when we do your metabolism test, we're going to identify what is your resting metabolic rate. Next, we're going to see how well do you burn fat at rest. When you're laying down resting, when we test, your respiratory exchange ratio 0.7, around there is where you're looking at a high fat burning efficiency score. Whereas if you're 1.0, that's a low fat burning. Now, how do you increase fat burning? Well, resistance training increases your metabolism, but it doesn't help your mitochondria density and fat burning efficiency. So this is where we need to individualize what we're recommending to people. Is it your metabolism low and or your fat burning efficiency? So how do you improve your fat burning efficiency is different than your metabolism. How do you increase your metabolism? Well, or your fat burn efficiency, rather, mitochondria density and fat burning efficiency. How do you increase your mitochondria? Zone 5 improves mitochondria density and fat burning efficiency. Interval training is helpful for this area. Lower intensities have moderate impact. So doing zone 2. Over here, we see low intensity steady state training. Zone 2 is far the most powerful mechanism for improving mitochondria function and enhancing fat burning efficiency. So you can see with this information, we need to test and not guess and create a personalized program based on where you are right now. Is your goal to improve your body composition? Do you want to lose weight? Well, we need to think about, am I eating enough? So we'll look at the resting metabolic rate. Is my metabolism where it needs to be? Do I have low thyroid? Am I needing to eat more protein, as we looked at here, to get my metabolism higher? Combination of, well, yes, I need to increase my metabolism, but I also need to improve my fat burn efficiency, as this example. Your ability to burn fat as a fuel source at rest is what we're looking at. Then we can determine, well, let's work on your nutrition. Let's work on your sleep and stress, one thing at a time. And then let's look at your workout program. Do you need more focus on resistance training and or more focus on adding in interval training and doing it right? Most people do not do interval training correctly. Sprint interval training is only 10 to 30 seconds, and your heart rate to really needs to work hard. You need to work hard to get the heart rate high enough to create this mitochondria density effect. Most people are just going zone 3. Your zone 5 sprint interval training should be followed by a long time in zone 1. So twice as long as your sprint. Maybe you're down 20 seconds all out, but maybe you're 1 to 2 minutes down in zone 1. And that zone 1, how long you're there? The timer starts once you hit that zone 1 heart rate. Say it's 120, that's your recovery time starts then. And then zone 2, most people don't do either because they're training mostly in zone 3. So this is the area of opportunity for most people: fat burn efficiency and the metabolism. And then we go down to the bottom page, we'll get an idea of your breath analysis, but your metabolic health, and look at that with your functional labs as your insulin, and look at genetics. Now, this example, the metabolic rate for this example, 1,500 a day, 1517, add extra movement throughout the day, daily activity calories, and then a workout session per day. Maybe they're burning about 300 calories. So how much should that person roughly eat during that day? And then what is their macronutrient? So here's the total calories, say they're burning, or days the burn calories 2730, but if they're trying to lose weight, maybe we have days they do work out about 2230. So say 2,200 calories a day. And then their fat, they're 63 fat, 37% carbohydrate at rest now, but how do we increase that percentage of fat at rest? And that's going to be working on their personalized workout program. And then how do we increase their metabolism? Well, this is where we want to address the macronutrients, carbs, fat, protein. This is way higher than I would give pretty much most people, unless you're doing a lot of intense workout. But we're going to see how your metabolism is. How well are you burning fat? What is your metabolism? So when we go back to looking at this 30-day challenge, if we can go a little bit deeper and figure out, all right, here's the suggestions. Here's this great outline, and I put it into a blog page I'll add in. But what are my supplements? What's my food program? Remember, as FDN practitioners, we talk about the DRESS protocol: diet, rest, exercise, stress management, stress reduction, internally and externally, and supplementing where needed, where we're not getting enough of. Now we'll go over the macronutrient ratios based on bodyhealth.com's 30-day challenge. I like to look at protein first, fats, and then carbohydrates based on the person's activity level and type intensity of their workout. So then if we really want to dive in a little deeper, we can go over here and look at genetics. Here's my report I did with Wild Health Clarity Report last year, and I just did my blood work last week, and I'll give you the new report coming up. So it'll be my third one. Now, these are my genetics. I do okay with fat tolerance, but I need to limit saturated fat. It's kind of moderate. And then my carb intolerance is moderate. So I look at the genetic reports, and then what I love about Wild Health Clarity reports, we're looking at carb-related labs. Do I need to go lower on my carbohydrates, or am I okay? Do I need to time my carbohydrates in and around the workouts because of my genetics and my hormones as I'm perimenopausal age? I'm not in menopause, but I'm getting closer to that time of my life. So I want to make sure I'm watching that insulin, the A1C, and the glucose because I am getting to be more, probably with lower estrogen, more insulin resistant. So that's why we want to really personalize the workout program based on insulin resistance and our nutrition. So on the Wild Health report, you get this nice overview looking at your nutrients you need, maybe if I need more B vitamins, NAD, and looking at how everything occurs in your body is methylation. And this was my first test, my homocysteine levels 8.5, and I look at my genetics, choline and folate risk. Do I need to supplement more? What labs are related to choline, to folate? And when I did this first test, I was really low in folate, and I want to look at methylation is reduced based on my elevated homocysteine. So what that means is I need to add in more choline and I need to get more B vitamins. So then I can get a little more personalization on my nutrition and then correlate that with food micronutrient test would be ideal. So Pinoy metabolism test, looking at your genetics and looking at your labs. And this is my test from last August. My A1C got down to 5.5. But see, I'm eat low carb. So it's more my genetics. And I think I'm more insulin resistant. But my insulin came down this last time. And I'll see what my new labs are. I think it was at insulin was at 3. So we want it between 1 and 5. But my A1Cs always kind of right there. And my glucose is always around 90 for the morning. And then we're looking at these markers and macronutrient ratio. So if we can do a 30-day program, ideally, 90-day, these fat loss challenges that people have as body health, what your nutrients are, macronutrient ratios, we can, get a little more idea of what you need to eat and then how much you need to supplement, like vitamin D and B vitamins and glutathione, and maybe some organ meat every week or capsules, as I like to do. So I put all this information into, are you struggling to lose fat weight, gain muscle, and speed up your metabolism? The 30-day fat loss challenge I've done before with using perfect aminos. Just to summarize, because I find their blogs are great, but to me, it's hard for me to read this way. I don't know why. So I put it into a chat GPT thing and go, okay, what are they really saying here? So whole foods, consume organic, one ingredient foods, as we talk about the single food ingredient diet, grass-fed meat, avoid, as everyone suggests, processed packaged sugary foods. Focus on prioritizing grass-fed meats and getting that seafood for your beneficial omega-3 profile. Cruciferous vegetables help support hormone balanced digestion. Transitioning may involve temporary cravings and energy fluctuations if you're coming from a higher carb sugary diet, or post holidays, maybe you went off the rails and ate too much and got some carb addiction habits back. So the suggestions on body health: carbs, about your body weight, pounds times 0.2, protein, 0.9 grams. I like just going Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, 1 gram of ideal body weight to 1 gram of ideal protein. I mean, protein's not ideal, but so say you want to weigh 150 pounds, your goal protein intake would be 150. Then we work with your fat intake where you're satiated and full and getting those essential fatty acids. Then we work the carbohydrate intake coming from nature sources from nature, eating those in and around your workouts when you will use them in your muscle glycogen. So supplements as needed. Most everyone suggests perfect aminos are their essential amino acids, protein support for cravings and energy. Essential for fat loss, reducing inflammation by taking omega-3 fatty acids. I suggest for most of my clients and myself, upper end of 3 to 5 grams per day, taking fat soluble vitamins with food, and then taking digest enzymes. I actually do order on my full script the ones from digest enzymes from Body Health. And then what they suggest is getting your electrolytes or minerals, greens, sleep aids, maybe getting some calming sleepy time tea at nighttime. And then, of course, avoiding the crap and focusing on eating just foods from nature. Single food ingredient list is the easiest way to think about it. So you can use our code, Coach Debbie Potts, or my code to save on your order. And I put the summary of the protocol, perfect aminos. You figure out your dose. I've been taking them morning and evening. First 2 servings in the morning before you eat. Spread remaining servings throughout the day, up to 3 hours before bed. If you have extreme cravings, take an additional serving. So they're suggesting for this 30-day challenge, 150-pound person needs 4 servings. So 2 in the morning, 2 at night, something I've been doing. So omega-3 fatty acids, 1 gel cap per 40 pounds of body weight, unless consuming fatty seafood as wild-caught salmon daily. Digest enzymes start with 1 capsule per meal, increase to 2 to 3 capsules if digestive issues persist. And additions, as I call them, just like ongoing maintenance that we all need, magnesium, minerals. I like bean minerals. You can put Redmond sea salt on your foods or good sea salt and focus on sleep and stress management and making sure you have good motility. You're not having constipation. You should be pooping at least once a day. And diarrhea, the other end, is not good either. So those are big red flags. We need to investigate a little bit more what's going on under the hood. So calculating macros, say you're 0.2 grams per pound is 0.9 grams of protein per pound and fat. So that'd be, say, 150-pound person, 30 grams of carbs a day, which is pretty low if you're active. So you may want to up that 30 grams, 50 grams, experiment when you're exercising more. But this is winter. I know I'm not biking as much. It's very limited because I work out at 5:30 in the morning. So it's too cold, even though I'm in San Diego. It's 40 degrees is too cold for me to ride. And then hitting my protein goals, I keep consistent. And then fats to feel full and satiated, and the fat should be with the protein. Again, so just summary, and then just focus on real food. Now, if you want to look at other options as the organ capsules and leaky gut revive, you can head over to my full script account. You can just set up an account, and then you can get discount on functional medicine grade supplements. So I put that link here, fullscript.com/welcome/Debbie Potts, and you can check that out. But the perfect aminos, why do we talk about this so much? Essential amino acids. I use Keon or I use perfect aminos. I like them both. They're pretty similar. As we age, I continue to talk about this, and I think it's super important that we all understand that not all protein is equal. Why does our metabolism slow down as we age? What are the factors influencing our metabolism? What can we control and not control? So we know we get anabolic resistance as we age, so it makes every effort harder to build and maintain muscle. So we talk about don't blame the aging process, embrace it, and don't expect same results doing a program you did when you're 20, 30 years old, even 40. As you get older, we need to work harder. That means we need to double our protein intake because we have this anabolic resistance. I know, but it's not that much more work. Essential amino acids with the leucine, it's more that leucine is needed, 2.5 grams, but I did another video on this, that as females with lower estrogen, we need twice as much leucine to stimulate MPS and counteract this loss of muscle. Full disclosure, this being real, I I've noticed huge changes in my body the last month. And I'm perimenopausal, if you want to know. I'm not in menopause, which is one day in time that you didn't have your cycle for 12 months. So we're looking at you as an individual, female and male. What are your hormones doing? What are signs and symptoms? I use a nutritional therapy intake form to really get to know what's going on with someone's red flags. But again, change everything. I need to add more essential amino acids. I talk about this all the time, but I have to get consistent on taking essential amino acids and buy about three bottles of them because I go through them so fast when I'm taking 10 tablets in the morning, 10 tablets at nighttime. I don't like drinking them. I don't like sweetness. So I just do the tablets. But we need essential amino acids that are absorbed efficiently and used directly for tissue repair, muscle maintenance, and enzyme functions in our body, crucial for metabolic health and resiliency. So if you're struggling to lose weight, it could be your metabolism slower. It could be because of lack of muscle tone in your body, slower metabolism, lower hormones, and not eating enough protein and doing the wrong type of fitness program. You're spending too much time doing cardio training to lose weight, probably in zone 3, and you're not training your body to be more fat metabolism. So we go back to the PNOE report, remember? We're looking at these markers and figuring out what you need to do. So test and not guess is my goal to teach you that we need to look at what we need to do. Do we need to supplement with NAD to help for our mitochondria health and metabolism? Do I need to do more creatine to help my muscle strength and my sprint interval training? So we need to look at the whole picture. Omega-3 fatty acids are important for aging and reducing inflammation, helping your joint health. And so those are essential. And I really find most of us can benefit from digest enzymes. Maybe you don't like capsules or tablets, but you can do some bitters or apple cider vinegar even. We need to improve nutrient absorption. And so many of us struggle with deficiencies. So even though you're eating all the right foods, you have low iron. I'm often anemic, and I think my ferritin is still low. And I'm also always low vitamin D, low B vitamins, folate, B12. So I need to supplement because even though I'm eating a nutrient-dense whole foods diet, I might not be breaking down my foods enough, and I need to take digest enzymes to get more out of it. So I'll put all this in the show notes, but thinking about whole foods, organic, grass-fed, wild caught, getting those vegetables. If you're doing your vegetables, I find with broccoli, kale doesn't work for me. Brussels sprouts, I feel I don't digest them well and I re-burp them. So I know that's not going well. Peppers, same thing. So I'm trying to focus on more. My vegetables aren't really vegetables, they're just romaine lettuce that I like to have, maybe a Caesar salad, or use romaine for a seafood Cobb salad. So test and not guess, and experiment on your own self what works. Testing food, seeing if your pulse goes up, paying attention to more intuition. Do I feel gassy? Is my stomach bloated? Am I farting too much? Am I having to run to the toilet? Quick evacuation. Those are red flags your body's telling you that food doesn't work for me. So I also think fiber is more the beneficial gut bacteria that we talked to Dr. Davis about. Fiber, I don't think is what the fiber is necessary for our body is the prebiotic fiber that feeds the gut bacteria. So make sure what type of fiber you're taking is beneficial for your bacteria. Lastly, I think a good marker I keep talking about is to get your insulin resistance measured. So looking at your labs, the role of insulin, I think is important to look at this measurement each time. Insulin helps move sugar from the bloodstream into the cells, ideally muscle, store as glycogen, and you don't want stored as fat. So getting glycogen stored into the muscle so we can use it for exercise, for fuel. When insulin is active, fat burning is inhibited. So take note, when your insulin is elevated, your fat burning is down. So listen to Ben Bickman on that. Causes of insulin resistance, we know stress and sleep, I just did a video on, but high sugar, resistant insulin, limiting glucose absorption. Excess sugar remains in the bloodstream, leading to higher insulin levels, increased fast surge. Cells fail to get sufficient energy, causing fatigue and increasing hunger. Sugar is stored as fat in the organs, arteries, liver, kidney, resulting in high blood pressure and all other symptoms that could be related to insulin resistance if you read Why We Get Sick from Ben Bigman. How to reverse insulin resistance, of course, with nutrition, but we'll talk more about the relationship of stress and sleep. Why your hormones get lower, again, muscle loss. Sarcopenia is related to lower hormones as testosterone, growth hormone, and insulin, like growth factor, increase cortisol levels from stress. And that can be stress because my hormones are going down. It's more stressful in my body. Cortisol can be up, and that breaks down muscle. Getting your DHA, cortisol hormones measured on a Dutch test is a great option. Lack of strength training, you're sedentary, all that. But I think inadequate protein intake, leucine-rich protein fails to stimulate muscle protein growth. So if you're doing plant-based, it's really challenging to get that leucine. Then also nutrition, we want to make sure you're getting the right food, but properly breaking it down and absorbing it. So looking at digest enzymes, and Dr. William Davis, we talked about the SIBO yogurt type that I make, and see if that helps with L. reuteri bacteria. So these are great summary here of why we lose muscle. Insulin, sex hormones, or estrogen and testosterone naturally decline with age, but that is something we can supplement with hormone replacement when we are able to, when it's right fit for you. Meet with a specialist, but that lack of estrogen and lack of testosterone can lead to increased fat storage and reduced muscle maintenance. So these hormone imbalances relate to mood swings, fatigue, decreased metabolic rate, as well as thyroid. So when we look at your metabolism, if it's slower, it could be thyroid, estrogen, testosterone, insulin, all these things can impact, as well as inflammation and poor mitochondria. So I'll put the rest of this, but I just wanted to share with you what to do for 30-day weight loss. Great information on body health, but let's break it down a little bit more. Let's work on muscle maintenance, addressing hormone health, reduce inflammation, improve metabolic efficiency, getting more movement throughout the day, and then understanding how hormones impact. Whoops, here's my pop-up. But so you can go to my website, learn more, lots of free books. I just wanted to go into genetics, blood work, looking at the whole picture, and know that I have more uphill battle. I have these FTO gene, genetic SNPs, so it's not your destiny or not your genes, it's your environment. You want to take care of how you do things if I'm more prone to that. Okie dokie, that's my thoughts for today. Have a good rest of your day and get outside and get movement throughout the day.